Oh,
Went to
there we go.
Sarasota, and landed, came back. I
We are
landed.
live.
I know,
Welcome
and,
to the
and I
show,
felt good.
everybody.
I felt good.
I'll start sharing it.
Um, okay. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are live and uncensored and unlocked tonight on the Things Network and the Spirit Network. Tonight we have Jess and Tom, Big Daddy Warbucks, with us. And tonight we're going to be probably pretty controversial. We do not want to offend anybody. We always start out saying that these are strictly our beliefs and where we're coming from. We're not bashing anyone. We're not saying your beliefs are wrong. We're just going to talk about where we're coming from, the things that we've experienced. So we ended. This is our first unlocked and uncensored on the Things Network. So thank you, things for having us. And we weren't sure that they would want us unlocked and uncensored, but they do. So that's why we are here after midnight, late Sunday night. And we had ended our show last week, kind of talking about our unlocked and uncensored show. We started it last week on the Spirit Network. Hello, Bridget. Um, and
Hello,
we
Bridget.
ended kind of talking about the power of, or the secret, the book The Secret, and how that was, everybody was talking about the secret, and all it is the law of attraction. And from which world, law of attraction is witchcraft, doing spell work. So, and we also, brought up, things about Jesus, if he was here today doing the things that he did back then, um, would we lock him up and commit him? Would we believe that he said he is who he says he is? If a virgin from the Middle East today came forward and said, immaculate conception, would we really believe that? Would we believe
No.
that, the second coming of Christ? Or would we lock it up or lock her up? I don't mean to say it. So that's kind of where we're at tonight. We would love, for people to chime in. We're also going to get later into personal stories myself from what the church did to me as a child, personal stories from Jess. And if there's anybody out there that, wants to chime in and give your opinion, we'd love to hear it. Again, we're not bashing anybody. This is just thoughts that run through my crazy head.
But we're also going to
So, and
stop real
welcome.
quick and give a couple of trigger warnings just in case, because we are going to be talking about religious trauma, PTSD, and things may get a little more in depth from there. So if that's something that can be triggering for you, keep that in mind.
Right. And we like looking at Big Daddy Warbucks ceiling here.
Mhm.
So, but we do want to welcome Tom, Big Daddy Warbucks, to the show, and Jess to the show, and anyone, Bridget, who's tuning in, anyone else out there who's tuning in. And well, let's kick it off and get it going. Was
We're
Jesus a
going to, hey,
witch?
yeah, let's kick it off like we ended it. Jesus was a witch.
Yeah,
Discuss.
she's my opinion. I believe, everything that I know of Jesus, and everything I know of being a witch, I would say Jesus was absolutely a witch. And, he was loving and caring and, wanted to take care of everybody, and if the stories are true that he died for the sins of mankind, I mean, then that's kind of like the ultimate witch right there.
Oh, no.
Um, Jesse Wilson, you're a little bit late on that. Big Daddy Warbucks already came in with the same line there. Oh, sorry, y'all. I thought I had to get my drink, and it's right here.
Well, and, on top of that, if there was someone alive today who could do that, they would be labeled a witch by society. So whether he was a witch or
You're
was not a
absolutely
witch,
sorry. I had ice in
but
my
he.
mouth.
Oh, we just went live.
Yeah, we've only been on like 5 minutes, so it's probably my slow stream over here. I think Robin, I need to share that link with her too. Jess, can you share the link with me in Messenger? Make it easy for me to
I sure
just
can.
forward it, because I'm slow on that kind of crap. So, yeah, back on what we were saying, I absolutely believe, yes, if Jesus were here today, that oh, Jess does have a new background. um,
Oh, wrong
he
one.
would
I did this.
he would be he would definitely be probably labeled a witch
Or
and
crazy.
or crazy.
Yep.
Sure, just
Yeah.
Tom, if you can hear me, since I'm gonna
Yeah.
take him off here. Let's
No, I can hear you.
see.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can hear. Okay, we're looking at your ceiling. I didn't know if you'd walked away or. Um, sure, Jesse. If you want to let me borrow it over here, we're still kind of working on modifying the Spirit Studio over here. I have to put it
Don't.
together like 30 minutes before the show.
I mean, you see, mine is, mine looks like a wonderful little studio, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And Lenny
Except,
had to point out that my skeletons are upside down here, but I'm like,
except that I'm sitting
I'm,
on my bed, so you
Sorry, I'm
just
back. It's
yeah,
called.
yeah,
hey Tom, welcome back.
It's
yep.
called Tink. I had to go tinkle. I'm sorry.
The spirit
Oh,
studio
we forgive
consisting
you.
of the closet, my bed, and Tom's ceiling.
Right.
Let me ask you one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Virgin Mary,
Me neither.
do you understand that perhaps there could have been a splash pregnancy, which means that someone had climaxed
Ah,
outside
on, but
China?
not penetrative.
Exactly.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, and that's my theory too, Tom. I'm not saying, you know, the
Heck,
thing is
I'm
this
not even saying that it
this
wasn't a virgin conception. Like I'm not
right.
saying
I'm not saying that, but my thing is this is in the Middle East. We know that this took place in the Middle East. We know that these men over there
some
behead their yeah, some men over there behead their wives, just for
for being unfaithful.
showing their face. But yeah, for being unfaithful. So I
To be
mean, you can think
honest,
back
if you really think about it,
2,000 years ago.
I think that's men everywhere at this point. Because
um
right,
You
I
know,
was
um
fighting with my hair over here.
um, um so I mean, that's just kind of my theory, or my thinking is, 2,000 years ago. I mean, these people haven't really moved forward in 2,000 years. So 2,000 years ago, if this woman, truly was virgin pregnancy, okay, maybe a spirit from the sky did come down and impregnate her. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm saying if that happened today, would we believe that? Would we really, believe 100% that this was, the second coming of Christ? And and there's just a whole lot of stuff that I have trouble. I struggled with trying to fit in with Christianity for 50 years. And when I was
Yep.
50 years old, I was finally able to realize that that was not for me. That I cannot make myself understand it. And I guess that's, the investigator in me. I miss my calling. I should have been a detective or something, because I'm always, if I don't understand it, I'm going to question it, and I'm going to try to work it out in my head and make it make sense. And there's so much about
It doesn't make
Christianity
sense.
that doesn't make sense, and I cannot work that out in my head.
Well, and I think as well, on a related note, a big issue is you do have a need to question. I do too. I was 20 when I realized that it wasn't for me. But the problem is that when you start questioning your elders or your church or your fellow Christians, that is when you tend to be uh, excommunicated and,
Right,
all
frowned
your
upon. I'm
guns
sorry,
and
y'all are
stuff.
looking at the top of my head.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Now, Kate is correct. There would be some dead set believers even today that he was, the Messiah sent down, even if he was here today. There's a few that would be dead set believers, no questions.
All right. Can I make one statement?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely, that's why you're here.
All right. We're talking about Virgin Mary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, just the whole concept of Jesus and all of that. Yes,
Well, I
was
understand.
Jesus a witch? Was Jesus a witch?
Uh, well,
If
that'll
he
be
did what
something
they
we'll
said.
discuss. But what I'm saying is, if someone was used to having a goat and just being descriptive there, and someone saw a person that was allowing them to have sex with them, and they ejaculate prior to penetration, and the semen perhaps made her pregnant. Is that immaculation, or is that
Mm, I don't think so because,
I don't
in
think
my opinion,
so.
to be immaculate conception, there can't have been a human man and his semen involved at all.
Well,
okay?
that's yeah. I mean, that's what the Bible wants us to believe happened,
Right.
right? So, if we're
No,
going to say
Bible
that's
Bible says penetration. I think.
Oh,
he lost his signal. He said the Bible and penetration, and
see,
God said, "Be
Jesus was
gone,
a
Tom. Be
witch.
gone." Whoops. And just like that,
Well,
apparently
hi, Terry.
something
How are you?
good. Y'all excuse the technical difficulties there again. It
Oh,
seems like one of us is always having it.
I missed the one comment before that where it said, I think the general population wouldn't believe it for the most part, Christian or not, but there would be some dead set believers with no questions. I missed the first half of that. And
Right, and
they're
and
right.
but it says now we got Big Daddy Warbucks, but it says devices not connected.
We
Do
need
I need
what?
to do something here? Um,
Oh, yeah.
it
Never
says
mind.
yeah, it's hmm. Tom, if you can hear it, it's
Oh. Okay, so Jesse got hit by autocorrect there, and I see ramming, and I'm like, what are you telling us we need to do, Jesse?
you'll
My
need
husband is recovering right now.
y'all need the hot mess express.
Oh, you did this, Jesse. It's not my fault.
Lord Jesus. Tom, if you can hear us, it's showing on my end that it says devices not connected.
Oh, well,
And there he's going again. So, good thing we have an hour and a half on this show to get it together.
yeah.
She's got something in the drawer for
I
you.
have several somethings
Um,
in a drawer for me.
now,
Thank you.
look, we were going to talk about that kind of topic, but we decided since it was Sunday, and let's come on, in and up. Now we have Aubrey joining us. Can you hear us, Aubrey? How do we? Oh, add to stream. I got to add her to stream.
Oh, I clicked add and you clicked remove.
Oh,
Hey.
whoops.
Oh,
Okay, I'll let you do it. Tom's back too. let's see here. I think Aubrey's just going to be in.
Oh.
Oh no, 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 no. No, get me out of that shit.
Can you guys
Back
hear me?
up. How
Oh,
do,
hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
hello, Aubrey. We
Hi.
can hear you.
Oh, good.
Um,
Yeah. Blame your sister. Blame your sister. Blame your sister. That's
yes,
all I'm
blame
saying.
your sister.
Yeah, we're just
Tom,
ramming.
let's see.
What are we blaming sisters for?
And,
What's going on?
oh, Jesse,
Jesse got hit
Jesse
by
Wilson.
autocorrect.
She made a she had an
Oh,
autocorrect there, and Tom said something about Mary and penetration, and he got kicked off, and then Jesse's talking about ramming, and this just all went bad quickly.
oh. He got
It
he got
did.
kicked he got kicked off because he said that about
No,
penetration.
no.
I don't
Oh,
think so. I think he just had a
His signal
glitch. It
cut
was
out.
just the
oh.
yeah, it was a, yeah, he had a glitch, but it was the
So it
timing when
was
he was
Jesus
talking about
saying, "Leave me alone.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, it was Jesus telling Tom,
Talk to the
do
fan."
not say, do not talk about penetration and my mother.
Yeah, it
Can you
went
hear us,
south. It went
Tom?
south real fast.
Can you hear us, Tom?
I can.
Tom,
I can.
you can. Okay. Okay, we're back.
Sort of.
So
Anyway,
back
so
on what you were saying, Tom, before you got kicked for talking about penetrating in the Virgin Mary.
Jesus said, "Not today."
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is perhaps there may be
Ah,
issues there that uh,
and
no penetration, but insemination. That's all I'm saying.
true. And Kay just chimed
True.
in with the actual definition of immaculate conception. It's technically free from sin. The Bible does typically consider, especially sex outside of your marriage or premarital, that is considered sin. So,
Well, and especially if a woman enjoys it, it's a sin.
yeah, that's
You
sin.
know, we're not supposed to enjoy it. It's supposed to be, you know, for our man.
Propagation.
Theological
So
definition,
It's
rather.
it's
Yeah.
Well,
supposed it's
Terry,
supposed to be about
you're
making
so wrong about that.
it's supposed to be about bringing more people into the world, propagating is what the Bible believes. And are we talking about the Immaculate Conception that Mary supposedly
Yes.
had? Oh, okay, gotcha.
well, yeah, what we were talking about, Aubrey, is um if a woman from the Middle East came forward today and was the supposed virgin and now pregnant with the second coming of Christ,
Would we believe her?
would the world believe her?
Probably not.
Or would we lock her up as a crazy person
Or
and
Probably,
call
probably,
Maury?
probably not.
or call Maury?
Call Maury Povich.
Well,
You're
first of
Or
correct.
all, I would think if she was a Muslim, probably not. There's a lot of hate about Muslims, and I think that she'd have to be 12 because isn't that the age that Mary was supposedly was 12 when she was
I
I
think
copulating?
think
so,
so.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jerry.
So to me, that's a pedophile is attacking her at that point.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's true.
That
I
is
mean,
something
that's
to think
what.
about as well.
Right.
I
Was she, molested by a father or something? And again, I'll bring up because Aubrey, you came in late. We were talking about, this is a country where men behead women, for having affairs or because they freaking showed their face.
right.
So why would this, young girl, come out and tell, oh yeah, my daddy or my uncle freaking Joe down the road or, whoever was dilly daddling with me. And now I've got this thing growing inside me,
Yep.
you know,
Right.
and, and I'm not saying that the baby, the Jesus, the little baby Jesus that she gave birth to, the stories of him, the things that he did,
Yeah, we're not
which of
saying
course
that they're
that
not true,
were,
that he wasn't,
yeah,
a witch.
because I do believe that Jesus existed. There's, lots of evidence, but of course there's a lot of evidence that there was a whole lot of shit that happened on this world before Jesus and the Bible and all that. I mean, let's talk dinosaurs and cavemen and all that. I mean, we've got proof of that too. So we can't, say that that didn't happen. So, and just like I'm not saying it didn't happen with Jesus, I'm just saying I don't think that it happened exactly the way the story said it did. And I even had a conversation with an Episcopal father, who he was the one that, I mean, it would probably pain him to know, but it was my conversations with him that helped me be okay with not trying to fit into Christianity anymore, because he made it okay, because he said you can only take that, in theory, and he said you can take it. If 10 of us in this room see a car accident, when the police come in and ask what happened, 10 of us give 10 different stories, 10 different versions. So the Bible is a bunch of stories of people's versions, and then it's what King James wanted
Yep.
these scholars to
Translation
translate,
after
basically.
translation after translation. And it was
Right.
written by men in the first place. So, to be human is to be fallible. There's no way you can say that the stories are perfectly correct. There's no way. Humanity is fallible. It was written by men.
Right.
I agree,
I mean,
absolutely.
and just the way that, women are portrayed in the Bible. I mean, and I think that's still the big struggle with the world today, with so many, it's been ingrained in us, for if we were drug into the church as little kids, it's been ingrained in us from the time we were little kids that, you know, you're the proper little wife. You stay home and you cook meals and you produce 100 fucking children. And, your man can go out and be a fucking pig and lay his pipe down wherever he wants to. And because God forgives him, you forgive him too, and you just be the good little subservient wife. Oh, no, 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 no.
Yep, no.
Not today, Satan.
That's
I just noticed
Not
where it's at.
today.
that's interesting. The only guy here, but that's interesting.
Well, I mean, in time, I'm not, like calling you out, because you're not much older than I am. Um, but you and I both grew up in a time, where women were second class citizens. In a lot of ways, we still are. That we had a problem with someone on the team who, didn't like the fact that we were going with, putting it out there that we were founded basically by women. Yes, we had the help of some men along the way, but it's women ran, women led, and, I mean, in 2021, we shouldn't be having that problem.
Well, first off, women are equal to me. Uh, Actually, sometimes supreme to me. So it doesn't matter. It's who you are, is what you are.
Exactly. I mean, and that's why you and I gel and we click because you
Uh-oh.
do have respect, for women. We had a frowny face there. Somebody didn't like something we said, but it is what it is. I mean, that's why we're here. Um, so
And
yeah,
you know what?
and it was
At the end of the day, if the woman is better than I am at any degree, professionally or legally or whatever, then you're supreme to me. That's I have met many judges and prosecutors that have been supreme, and yeah, what you won. But I also have also done the exception. I have taken prosecutors that were less, and I said, "Boom, I got you." and they knew that.
Well, right. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, and that's what I just everybody should be treated equally. Just because you've got a dick and balls between your legs, excuse my language, y'all, but doesn't make you any
It's called
better than
friggin'
I am. I
berries.
mean,
Friggin' berries.
twig and berries. But we are unlocked and uncensored, so we can't. I mean, this is why we're after midnight here, and so we can.
I think what it
Um,
comes down to be perfectly honest, is your gender has fuck all to do with anything. It doesn't matter if
right.
you are or identify as male, female, non-binary. It does not matter.
You know what?
It
Well,
is
Chris,
who you
you
are.
are
That's where you're wrong. Either you're female or male. You have twig and berries or something else. That's all you are. There's no binary.
Okay, well you do not have to have part of the conversation, Krista. That's absolutely fine.
right. And I mean, and if you feel that's sacrilege, that's part of the problem with Christianity. I mean, why is it that you can't have a conversation about something without it being sacrilege? You know, I mean,
Yep.
Krista, we're posting a fair question. If a little 12-year-old girl came out of Iraq today and claimed immaculate conception, would you believe it? Of course,
So,
I did block her because we're not going to get into all that, allow
Here, I would
them
say
to come
no.
in and
Terry,
I'd say no.
can I say something? I just want to say
absolutely,
that
Aubrey, go right ahead.
first of all, I want to address the misogyny. Misogyny, whether we're guys, girls, whatever, Tom, and every guy out there that's listening, we live in a misogynistic world. We have for centuries. It's still going on. And I appreciate what you said, Tom, about, if you know somebody's better than you or whatever you were saying, whether it's a man or a woman, that's awesome. I think that a lot of guys are not like you, unfortunately. I wish they were more like you. It takes men like you to go out and tell these other guys how to behave. So, us women beating the drum and telling these guys that they're misogynistic is not really helping. We've been doing it for a long time. It needs other men to step up. The same way we need other men. I just got done talking with a woman who's been sexually assaulted. Now, sexual assaulting and domestic violence is not going to stop until men, because they're the biggest perpetrators, excuse me, of these crimes. And you know this as an attorney. There are women that do it, but not as many. And so the majority of crimes of this nature are committed by males, and males that are good guys like you need to stand up and talk to these other guys and tell them, it's not acceptable to you guys, because they don't care what we say. We live in this misogynistic world, and I wish it was different, but it is the way it is. And as far as the religious, Krista, I guess, is upset about that. You're right, Terry. These people are in a cult, and that's what it is. When you're in a cult, you don't want to see anything else. How dare you talk about it? How dare you talk about our leader? Anything like that. If it was really something that they truly, were not in a cult about, they would be okay with answering questions. They're not. I've had numerous times arguments with people about this. The bottom line is that Mary was a 12-year-old girl that was impregnated by the Spirit, Holy Spirit, which I guess was supposed to be Jesus or God, excuse me. And Joseph
God,
was,
yes.
what age was Joseph, who was, her husband in his 20s or 30s or something? So, and nowadays, if we had something like that, I would hope that someone would arrest that guy, because, that's pedophilia, plain and simple.
Yeah.
And, and nobody questions that on the religious side. They don't question that the Holy Mother was, a 12-year-old girl.
Well, let me break in just for a second and say that I think that misogyny is just a part of what the issue is of the world today. The world today is patriarchal, and that is very evident in Christianity and a lot of other organized religions. The issue is that it's a patriarchal world, not just a misogynistic one, because there are, plenty of other genders that are included as well. It's just all about the cisgendered male, toxic masculinity.
Right. But we're not here to
No.
man bash tonight. We were talking about Christianity, and of course I think we've all kind of agreed that, at least on the panel here, that if a 12-year-old girl came out of the Middle East now and said she had immaculate conception, we probably wouldn't believe it. So then our next topic was going to be about what Christianity does to us, as from my own experience as a child. Now, I was probably 11ish, first awkward experience. Now, I'd gone to a few churches, here in the South. My granddad would take me to vacation Bible school. Remember coloring pictures, learning Jesus loves me, and all that stuff, having a good time. But then we moved to Iowa. Of all places, you would think that, this kind of would have happened in the South, but it actually happened in Davenport, Iowa.
It happens
I was
everywhere.
invited. It does.
I,
I was invited, and I won't say what denomination church, but I was invited to church. And, of course, I remember, the singing and all that. But at the end, they wouldn't let me leave. Basically, they, asking me, had I ever been saved? And of course, I didn't know what the hell that really meant. And they insisted that, I had to be saved that day before I left, because I was going to go to hell. Now, as a 11-year-old child who had already experienced very much trauma in my short 11 years, sexual abuse and physical abuse, now I'm being told by these adults, that I have this all loving spirit all around me who's going to take care of me and who's going to protect me. But I have to accept him into my heart. I have to take him into my soul. So what do? Okay, I'm listening to these adults, and I did it. Now, the next time I was getting my ass beat, and when I say beat, I'm not talking about, whipping your child. I'm talking getting beat. I'm thinking, where's Jesus? Where is this person that's supposed to be with me, that's saving me, that's all loving, that's protecting me, that's keeping me from hell? Because this is hell. I mean, this is hell. And then, as time went on, like I said, until I was 50 years old, trying to fit in this organized religion, and I can't make myself do it. I mean, everything I do in my life, I'm going to hell for. I'm going to go to hell for speaking my mind. I'm going to go to hell for not being the subservient little wife. I'm going to go to hell for listening to rock and roll music. I'm going to go to hell for wearing blue jeans instead of a dress. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. It was too heavy. I couldn't fit into that category.
Well,
I just
and
couldn't
not
do
to
it.
mention, let's go back to the fact when you were young and you had been through what you had been through, this idea of having this Jesus can see you everywhere. That's traumatic when you have been through
Been
any sort of sexual
sexually,
abuse.
yes. I mean, yes,
Like, oh,
that,
he's
did
watching me in the
resonate.
bathroom.
Right. Because as 3 or 4 years old was my first sexual encounter. Obviously not by choice, but then, learning, and yes, that Jesus is with me and all this stuff through the years. And yeah, that goes through your head. It's like, you can't take a shower, you can't, you don't have a private moment. I mean, that can be traumatizing.
And then
And
if
I
he's
know,
here for all of this, if he's here for all of these times that are awkward for me, where the fuck was he when everything was happening?
right,
Not watching?
exactly.
damn.
And it
I mean, what you got, Tom?
we're uncensored.
Apparently,
Hey, look, okay. I always tell Terry that in my natural state, I sound like the love child of a sailor and a biker with a construction worker accent.
Okay.
Well, my children will tell me all the time, Mom, what's your language?
Which,
So,
oh,
are
and that's fine because I need a spell or two, but I love you. Sure, you know that.
I love you too, Tom.
We're talking.
And now we're getting emotionally. You will
I
get
know.
we're getting in our feels.
Well, religious trauma
So
and trauma in general has marked, but I know at least both of our lives just thoroughly through. So
right,
Yeah.
and we know Aubrey, deals with trauma on a daily basis with
every
her
day.
job. And Aubrey, on a religious aspect of that, I mean, how much would you say, has that been brought in with your victims? Does the how am I trying to word this? The fog of the religious cult, do they get hung up with the guilt of being, not the subservient wife or whatever.
Yeah, I not everybody. There are some women that are sick
Right,
of it,
right.
but there are a number of women that I've tried to get out of the house, and they feel that they have to talk to the minister first, and then they speak to the minister, and the minister tells them, well, you need to try again. And I mean, maybe he's just angry, maybe you need to make the soup hotter, or have his slippers when he comes in, or some other ridiculous crap. And I mean, I'm pissed off about it because I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having to deal with this. And the same crap just happens and goes on and on and on and on, and it never stops. And there is a religious aspect to some of it. And trying to talk to the ministers, I called one minister up and read him the riot act, and he told me that I was an unholy woman because I dare say what I did to him. So I'm sure, Terry, you know me a little bit, so you know what I said back to him. But the
Right. I
bottom
mean, and
bottom line is, go ahead, go ahead. What
well,
were you
I
saying?
was just gonna say, that's the thing. Just like this Krista Collins, who said it's ridiculous and sacrilege. You can't. It's the patriotic thing, like Jess said. You cannot question anything the church, the minister's secretary, the fucking choir director. You question anybody with any authority in the church, and oh my God, you're going to fucking hell.
Yeah, it's what's aggravating
You're
to me
muted,
too.
Jess. You're muted, Jess.
I said yes, that's correct, and yet my preacher ran off with the choir director. So
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the worst. I mean, I had a priest. I grew up Roman Catholic, and I was watching my priest's cat while he went on vacation in his green Corvette, and the cat ran under the bed, and I found like boxes and boxes of porn, and it wasn't just regular porn. There was a lot of stuff in there, and he was my priest. So they're not supposed to have any kind of thinking about sex, right? I found it very bizarre where you have religions where they don't allow people to be human. I mean, humans, most humans want to have sex, or they crave it, or if you're told they can't, they're told they cannot do it, then that's what they do. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that we have such an issue with the Roman Catholic priests right now, with, all the pedophilia that's going on, the stuff that they're doing
I
against the
100% agree with
raping
that.
the what am I trying to say? The not the nurses. What are they called? The women in the
The
faith.
the
What are they?
nuns.
the
Thank you. The nuns.
nuns,
I couldn't think of their names.
the
Yeah, I
nuns.
mean, some women have been. The
Well, and
nuns have
in
came out
more
against that.
cases, I am not cat, or never been cat. Did not my Catholic experience is my husband. So I can't speak from only Catholic churches I've been to is maybe a wedding and some funerals for sure. Um, but I've said that all along. When you put, you know, men and women who want to take vows to God and, gonna, why? I mean, what is the purpose of that? Why can't they to make the ultimate sacrifice? And it ends up, I know that some nuns are, raped in the Catholic Church, but more so it's freaking choir boys. It's these kids that are being left in the care of these trusted Catholic priests. And so I
Yeah.
can get on a big rant about that one now.
Oh, so could I. I was raised in the Catholic faith before I decided to leave. And so, yeah, I can talk a lot about that. I went to church 6 days a week and sang in three choirs. I was indoctrinated into the cult. It's a cult. And that's why I can talk about it like that because I've been part of that and I know exactly what happens to you.
I like to think of me leaving the Christianity as a self exorcism.
That's a good description.
Hey, fucking men to that, Jess.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. You continue, Aubrey. Sorry.
I could go on all night about the Roman Catholic faith. So it's all right to interrupt me. It's fine. No, I'm just saying that, when I said religions are cults, it's not just one religion. I mean, it seems to be a lot of them are. And I mean, I'm not going to say every single one of them are because I don't know every single one of them, but I have studied some religion. And the stuff that I've seen, the people that, are in them act like cult members. And if you know what cult members do, they get indoctrinated and you cannot pull them out. You just can't. You have to. What is? I think it's people in any place of power when it comes to religion. We said, yes, Kate. I agree with you. Kate is saying that you think that it's people in any place of power when it comes to religion, at least that abuse that power. And then Bridget says, I was raised in the Catholic Church too. It's definitely a cult. Thank you, Bridget.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's difficult to get out of when people are in cults, they've been indoctrinated, and it's very hard to deprogram them to get out. And so a lot of them stay. My dad was one of them. I think I told you this, Terry, when the whole thing about the pedophilia and the priests in Boston, the Boston Globe broke all that back in the 90s, I think it was. And they did that big expose about the Boston priests and that the priests were raping these kids. And then the diocese was paying the families off and moving the priests to different churches, to different parishes. And so they can continue to do this. And it went all the way to the Pope, that the
Right.
Pope knows what's going on. So, the entire church knows about it. And instead of removing these criminals, because that's what they are, they're just traumatizing more and more and more kids so that we have more and more issues with these kids as they get older. Because trust me, when these kids get older, they're going to continue to do stuff too. When a lot of times, and science has shown this, that, when you've been, and it's not everybody, but a lot of people don't do the help, get the help they need, and they go on to abuse just the way they were abused. So it's creating more and more of an issue, and the Catholic Church knows this and they all hide behind it. I confronted my father, who was a very strong Roman Catholic, and I was like, he was Native American and Spanish, and my grandmother, his mother, used to have crucifixes all over the house, and all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I said to him, Dad, do you see what is going on here? How can you stay a part of a church like this that's doing this? And he said that it's my church, it's my God, and that's just the way it's going to be. And you would not budge. And he was indoctrinated. So that was part of what helped me break free from this, that religion. But it's really, it's really I don't have a problem with people with their religion. If they want to actually have a religion and have spirituality, I believe that people need to have a spiritual higher power. But when you push it off on other people and demand they believe what you believe and take people's rights away from them,
Right.
the church doesn't allow gay
Or you
people in
take
church.
somebody's child that you don't even freaking know, and you tell an 11-year-old child, if you don't, the first time they visit your church, if you don't accept Christ into your life, you're going to hell. I mean, and I'm not the only, what kind of got this topic going is another friend of mine had spoke of a situation. I think she was 7 or 8, and went to church, with the neighbor next door, pretty much same as I did. The difference was her mother was an alcoholic. And when they started questioning her in church, why her mother wasn't there, of course, I almost slipped and said her name. We'll call her Marie. Marie said that, she, not just being a little girl, didn't know she shouldn't, be telling them that her mom drank all night last night and could come to church. And, she was 7 or 8 years old and had the same experience, them telling her that she had to be saved, accept Christ into her life, that she was going to go to hell, that her mother was already going to hell. So she said she spent, the next 7 years of her life, and thank God she was a bookworm, and went and dug into books and studied and researched herself the older she got. Because she said, for the next few years, though, until she could really get into the right kind of books and understand, she lived in fear every day that her mom was going to die and go to hell. I mean, and so
Terrifying.
what kind of trauma is that to put on a child? And now, Jess, everybody's kind of talked a little bit. I know that you have your own story too of what
I
the church
do.
has done to you. So,
I didn't uh, go to church out of the blue at 11 and have experiences like that. I was raised in the church from birth, essentially. And I grew up in a little bitty town in Alabama. It was Church of God, and our sister church was Pentecostal, so we all kind of intermingled, which means that someone always fell out on the floor and spoke in tongues every time, which is traumatic to watch, by the way, when you're a kid. But
Aubrey will tell you that I've actually told her of a time when your mother in law and I were dragging the kids church shopping. That was back in the day when I was still trying to fit in. Because, in the South, you meet somebody, they ask within the first 5 minutes what church you go to. So it's expected, that you find a church. But your mother in law and I had taken the kids with them, and all the kids were there, and they started falling out, and we were like, what the fuck? First, your mother in law was like, somebody needs to call 911. And when I was like, no, look, it's happening to more of them. And she's like, what do we do? And I was like, get
I
up,
guess we fall
made that
out.
motion to the, I said, you made that motion to the kids. Get up, we're leaving,
I'm
we're
being
out of
quiet.
here.
I'm being quiet.
Tom, are you Pentecostal?
No, I'm just being quiet.
Okay.
Well, we could see the ghost. We could see the ghost Tom back there. The little, we could see your eyes glaring on the screen.
Uh,
Anyway, Jess, sorry to interrupt you. You go finish talking about. I just had to chime in there about. Yes, I've experienced the falling out and the covering with the purple cloths that they do.
there you go.
Hmm.
Why? Can you explain why they do the purple cloth thing? What's that all about?
The purple cloth thing, I don't know. I do know that typically, I don't. I guess the significance of it is every time we had any sort of holidays, the church that was up in our main, sanctuary area and everything. Not only do we have a crown of thorns hung on the top of the cross, just below it, draped over the horizontal bar, like its arms almost or shoulders, is a
Right.
purple
The arms.
cloth. So I
Gotcha.
think it represents something with Jesus. That's all. I don't have a lot of memories from childhood.
Right.
I myself, from the time I was 5 until I was 12, went through things, and then that was just one. But the whole time, I think that makes it worse being born into the church, essentially, because from the time I was 5, when it first started happening, until I got too old at 12, I every time begged for help. Jesus never came.
Right. Right.
So I think it. I don't know if it. I don't know which one's worse. Being traumatized the way you were, or begging every night and it never, ever, ever happened.
Right. Yeah. Thinking, that this God, I mean, I was trying to put a name on it, but I mean, it's supposed to be, God, this
A
amazing
deity.
being, this a deity, an all loving, um, all caring, all that, but you look at the world and how is it that he's all loving and all caring and now in the time of COVID and I'm not getting on, anything on vaccines or anything. I'm just saying, if this God was all loving and compassionate, then what the fuck is going on, God? I mean, are we just doing a, wipe of the planet? Well, then just send in the flood again. Don't torture us all and make us watch our loved ones die. You know, and I mean, this is going to be a hot button. I know, or not a hot button, emotional button. I know that Jess was experiencing, some of this today. Jess and I share, we both have lost a best friend in our life. Um, her best friend was a drug overdose. My best friend was 28 years old and 8.5 months pregnant and died of a heart attack, in her sleep. Her and the baby died. So tell me how this is an all loving, all caring, compassionate God when young mothers are taken away from their children, or when young babies don't even get to come into the world yet. Um, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I can't. I'm not denying that there's something bigger than us out there, but he's not as compassionate and as loving. And I don't think, maybe at one time he had control over us and maybe he gave us free will. I don't know the answer to that, any of that, but I do know that it's bullshit. For me, it's bullshit. I cannot wrap my head around it. And no matter how many people like Krista, get angry at me and call it sacrilege, until you can make me understand it and make it make sense, I just, I can't put my faith in and just say, okay, yeah, I believe this. Yeah, I believe there's a higher power out there. I believe that if we take all the religions in the world and mix them together, we might know that much about what's really out there beyond us.
Well, and I
My husband
myself,
and I,
I believe in the Christian God. I just don't worship him. I work with other deities myself. It's not to say that he's not
right,
real, not to say Jesus isn't real. I don't doubt it, to be perfectly. I doubt the accounts that are in the Bible because it's just too muddled. But I don't doubt that Jesus and God exist. I just don't worship them, and I think that's okay.
right, yeah. I mean, and if I'm going to hell for that, then I'm going to hell, and I'll be in good company.
Oh wait, hold on
You
now,
know.
hold on, Terry. You're going to hell for far better reasons than that.
Oh, I know. Well, Lenny and I were talking about that today, and of course, he was raised in the Catholic Church, and he's sitting there doing his Hail Marys and stuff today. When I told him what the topics are going to be about, he's like, he looked at me, he said, "It's all our God, don't strike me because I'm sitting next to her." I'm like, "Well, honey, um, you married me, so God's gonna hold you because you are the man and you're the supposed to be the smart one here, so you will be held responsible at the pearly gates."
Well, and then there's my house where after there was something we had watched one time, and now my husband and I, anytime someone says Jesus, we always answer the wine guy.
Right?
Talk about the wine guy. Jesus, didn't you know?
That's Jesus back again. So the wine guy, that's great.
Hmm. He said it when we were still in studio before he fell asleep, and um, he when we had said something about it privately, and he that's what he popped off with in the background. The wine guy.
The wine guy. That's a good one. I mean, yeah, Lenny and I were talking the water and the wine thing. Um, uh,
Puns, really puns.
right.
Jesus.
Um, um, yeah, I told Lenny, I said, dude, if Jesus walked up in here tonight and turned a glass of water into wine, it's witchcraft. It's witchcraft.
Does it have to be wine?
No, I mean, I'd prefer that he made it an adult juice box.
Can it be Grey Goose?
Hot damn, you want to tie one on there, aren't you? Tom, did we lose you? Did you fall asleep? I know it's late over there for him, and I
Oh,
haven't seen him pop up for a minute. I'm going to kick him from the studio if he comes back.
well, if you just remove him,
Okay.
it puts him in the waiting area. Oh.
Cool. Well, I kicked him, and then what I just did.
Basically, what you
It
just
said
said was yeet. You yeeted Tom. Or is it yote Tom? You yote Tom? I think that's the past tense. Johnny out. Oh my God.
No, she did not.
Oh, she
Y'all
did.
gotta stop with the shining shit now. Halloween is over.
Johnny never leaves.
Johnny is always with you.
Johnny is the new Jesus. Oh, now that was sacrilegious.
That was sacrilegious.
I'd even go so far as to say blasphemous. Can you breathe, Terry?
Oh no. Aubrey, did we lose you? Are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Just listening to us
Okay.
act like we're crazy. Well, we're not acting, but
yeah,
we're just
we're
crazy.
not acting crazy. This is really us here. So, yeah, I guess we got some folks pissed off there, but it is what it is.
But that's gonna happen because I mean, yeah, obviously supposed so crazy. Yes. Um. Well, anytime you start to question the status quo, be it religion or anything else, it doesn't matter. You're going to piss some people off. Usually, the people who are either benefiting from the system that you're questioning or are too indoctrinated to know the difference.
Right. Yeah, they're too deep in their cult.
Yeah.
Well, and Cade, that's why we decided, we might as well come out controversial from the beginning. Let's just, what my mom always says, don't put your crazy out on the front porch. Well, we put our crazy out on the front porch tonight. We put that baby out there. We gave her a cigarette to drink and said, go for it.
Wait, you take yours down? I thought we'd leave it up all year. Like Christmas lights.
Exactly.
You leave it out like Christmas lights all year.
So, did you guys get any kind of flack from the last weeks when the last thing you said was Jesus was what?
Jesus was a witch. No, we did
Yeah.
not.
No, you did
We
not.
we got some laughs about it privately.
Oh, okay. I was just curious where Krista came from. Who is Krista? Is she a member of the?
We don't know.
I don't know. Hopefully she's not one of the things network.
I checked.
People.
I scrolled through the group message and I did not see her in there.
Okay. Of course we don't want to offend the Things Network. But yeah, my daughter Jessie is talking about I put my crazy out by the road, wrap it up in a bow and wave it at passerbys.
No, you know what?
Sometimes
It's like those 20-foot tall skeletons people have been getting, and then they just dress them up in different costumes for each holiday.
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes we even put the blow up dinosaur on it just to stick it out there to wave at the passerbys.
Yeah,
No sense in hiding the crazy hell.
I take it shopping on
That's
occasion.
Lenny, Lenny did ask me. He said, "These people can't find out where we live, can they?" I said, "Yeah."
I'm just
I
gonna
said,
go ahead and say that
Possibly, but you're
between
well armed, honey."
I was about to say between the two of us, finding out where we live so you could show up there would be a horrible idea for you.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
And
Because
I live in Vermont, so go for it. Come on up and see me.
Yeah, let me know when you get there.
yeah,
Give him a wave.
yeah. I mean, if you want to run me down here in Alabama because I've stepped on your religious toes, then I hate that because I'm sure there's a whole lot more people out there that feel a lot more strongly against your religion than I do. I'm not against Christianity at all. I'm just that I have questions. I feel legitimate questions, and until someone can explain these questions to me and make them make sense, I'm going to continue to have questions.
Well,
And of asking questions,
why are we told that there is no such thing as a stupid question, but yet in the
but then it's sacrilege if we ask questions.
make it make sense?
Right.
Right. So, what you get we got to have faith. Well, I do have faith. I've got faith in a lot of things. But I learned a lot at an early age when I was being molested or violently raped at 16. Um, Jesus wasn't there to protect my ass. Didn't matter how much
Protect mine.
praying I did, no matter how much begging I did, no matter how good I tried to be, it didn't work. So, yeah, I've got faith. I've got faith that there's some bullshit out there and we're swimming in it.
Yep.
And when some of us question the bullshit, we're going to hell. So, I guess I'm going to hell.
I'm not gonna lie.
My husband did tell me,
ahead.
I'll say this about me and going to hell. My husband did tell me, I mean, this is great faith, isn't it? He said, "Baby, I have complete faith you'll be take it over and run it within a month."
Well, I'm not gonna lie though. When you said I've got faith, I expected you to break out into I've got faith. Yes, I do. I've got faith. How about you?
No.
Look, I was also
I've got faith.
be a
How about you?
cheerleader as
I've
a
got
child.
faith.
Me, a cheerleader.
I was too in the third grade.
It was only when I
Till
was
mom moved me to
very
Iowa.
young.
Yeah, I wanted to be a cheerleader until mom moved me to Iowa, and then I kind of shut down up there. I mean, it took me from everything I knew
Yeah.
into a cold freaking snow. It was like the worst blizzard they'd had in 40 years or some shit. It was horrible. Don't miss that crap. I apologize to my friends in Iowa. Love you, but hate that place. Holy Spirit, activate.
Holy Spirit, activate. Have you seen the TikToks with that? It's funny.
I have not.
I'll send you one. I just want some snow. My friend that's in Michigan sent me. They've got their first snowfall of the year. I just want just a little snow.
Man,
I like the snow.
I don't miss it.
I don't like this moist heat that we have.
Aubrey tells me all the time that she's got to get her snow boots, and I don't miss it.
I love the snow.
I'm good.
Could not live down in the swampy area you guys live in. Sorry. I love the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah. On a bad day, we have to drink the oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
true
at
story
least
right
once
there.
a year, It starts raining and then it don't stop for like a month.
Oh,
40 days and 40 nights.
you guys have a lot
You
of
know, I
humidity down
bet.
there too, right? A lot of
Yeah,
humidity.
always
Oh
humidity, but
God,
it is
Oh,
yeah,
god
wow.
awful
uh,
during that time.
Yeah, I have curly
yeah.
hair. My hair would not
It
like
is
getting
vile
wet.
here.
Yeah.
I agree with this.
I agree with that statement. I mean, if there's a hell on earth, it's Alabama in the summertime.
Florida.
Well, and as much as I love Louisiana, oh good God, down there, we
But
made
if
the
you start
mistake. I
but if you start taking into account, you know, meth gators and stuff, Florida. That's all I'm saying.
meth gators,
Hmm.
right?
Well, yeah,
Well, I
in some
mean,
areas. I'm talking about them swampy areas. And also Florida also has Florida man.
What's that?
the Florida man. Just Googling
Google
Aubrey,
Florida
Google
man.
Florida man.
I
Florida
promise you.
Google
man.
Florida.
Hold on, I gotta
Florida
go look
man.
this up.
Oh, it's fabulous.
No, yeah. Now everybody that is ever going to watch this show is Googling Florida man. And yeah, if y'all don't know who Florida man is, go Google Florida man.
But
What's
yeah.
just,
Oh yeah, that's true.
oh yeah.
Curly haired people.
And yes, and definitely, okay, the swamp ass. I mean, we can definitely get some swamp ass out here in Alabama for sure.
This is true.
Yeah, working out in the horse pasture and stuff, definitely come in with some swampy ass.
I stay inside, so my doctor makes me take a vitamin D supplement every day.
You guys
I
have big
went,
snakes and spiders down there too, though, right?
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yuck.
We've got several
we have
species
big everything.
of venomous snakes here.
What what did you say,
Yeah.
Josh? How many?
Well, I mean,
We have several species of
several.
venomous snakes here,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
rattlesnakes can the timber rattlers they can get big.
Ugh, no, thank you.
I'm and just go in Jess's living room, and fine. How many snakes you got in there, Jess?
Okay, look, none of the things I own are venomous.
Uh,
Well, the tarantula is venomous.
yeah,
What?
see, she
Why
owns
do
a
you have a?
tarantula.
Oh, you own one like a pet?
I do, and my
Oh,
husband breeds ball pythons, so we
oh.
have 30-ish. I think it's a little less, but I can't remember the exact number. Ball pythons in there. We're waiting for breeding season, and then I breed mice. That's what this whole wall over here is.
Oh, wow.
I breed mice. It started off with breeding feeders from my husband, obviously for his snakes, and then I fell in love with learning the genetics and all of that. And now I also breed show types and pet types and run my own business.
Do you ever worry about the snakes getting out in the living room?
No, no,
No.
we have them the enclosures that they're in. No, we had them custom
Yeah,
made.
I will say
Oh,
that that they got some killer enclosure. They got a nice setup over there. William has worked really hard, and it shows.
Hmm. And then I've got everything mouse wise that's from curly haired and long haired to hairless.
hmm,
So
interesting. To change the subject from the mice and the rats and the snakes, which are like not my fun thing to talk about. Have you guys been on Etsy recently? I was on there today and I was curious what you guys thought about. There are women, well, I'm assuming they're women, witches on there that are selling curses
yes,
from
I've seen
like Lucifer, and I can't say supposedly Lucifer's wife. I can't say her name.
Lilith.
No, it's not Lilith. Lilith is not Lucifer's wife.
Oh, no, 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 no.
It
Excuse
begins
me.
with
That was
a.
Adam's first wife. My bad. Uh,
It was I can't K K A S I K A N D R I E R A Kissekandria, something like that. I've never
I've
heard of
seen
her.
the name and I cannot remember how to pronounce it. I looked it up.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
she's
no,
supposedly Lucifer's wife, but they're selling curses to people for like crazy amounts of money. For Lucifer's curse, it's like $5,500.
well,
You
it's not
know,
even just that, and it's not even just Etsy. The I
Look, I gotta chime in here and say, if anybody is out there buying curses from anyone claiming to be a witch and you're spending $5,000 on a curse, honey, call me. I'm gonna teach you how to burn a candle and do that shit on your own
for free.
without spending five that for free. Yeah. I mean, if you want to throw a little 20 in my tip jar or something, fine. But I ain't gonna, I will
Well,
direct you
it's
a
not even
black
just
candle.
that.
All you need is a black candle and think about what you want to do that person.
It's
There
all
you go.
about
Boom.
intention and manifestation.
Free.
But it's not even just Etsy. On Facebook, the groups, you have to be really careful because you get people, especially the different witchcraft and other alternate religions. You get people that'll go
Right.
through and claim, "Oh, I sense a curse on you. Private message me, and I can tell you how to break it for a fee." Or, "Oh, would anybody like a reading? Private message me. I'll give you a tarot reading for a fee." So whenever
Right.
I do tarot readings in my own time. That is one of my talents. But I don't charge anybody anything. So whenever they ask and they, well, how much do you charge? Well, I don't charge.
so
And that's, I've
I agree
never,
with. I was just going to say just that. I think that people that charge like that, I mean, the fact that you don't charge, I don't charge for readings I do or stuff like that. I do some tarot as well. I told you I do the Ouija board, but I've never really had, oh, I've had a couple people ask me to do, work the board with them. I never charge either. I think that once you start charging, for me, I believe that you start losing your gift when you start charging
uh,
like that.
I think it's a possibility, yeah, because I do it. I agree to do all these readings because it helps me to keep my gift honed, and it gives me more practice, and it keeps me in tune with my cards, and it keeps me in tune with myself. So you're doing me a favor
Right,
just as much as I'm doing one for you. Why would I charge you for that?
right. I mean, I think you charge a little bit, maybe some people, but not these people that are charging $5,000.
Yeah.
That's
No.
no, and
Yeah.
like I said, I think, if you're gonna do something like that, give them a tip. Now, y'all know I've gone to Ron Rommel. I will plug Ron here. I don't. I think the last time I seen him, he was pretty sick, so I don't know. If he is still available to do readings. I've paid Ron. The last time I seen him was like $85 to do a reading in person. And some people go, "You paid $85 for a reading with Ron?" Absolutely. The man had me in there for 3.5 hours. I mean, and there's just, things that it wasn't just pulled out of the sky, hokey bullshit. I'd gone to this man 4 or 5 times over 30, 35 years of my life. He advised me, when I was going through, before I went through breast cancer treatment, because I was getting pressured from certain individuals in my family to do things that I did not want to do. And in my desperation, needing answers in that time, I went to Ron. And there have been other times in my life that I was desperate and needed answers, and I went to Ron. So I will say that I do believe that there are some people out there that, I don't mind paying. But when you
Well,
come at me with a ridiculous price, um,
yeah.
and like Jessica said, I mean, there's just, Ron truly is a gifted, person.
But
So I don't mind.
I would also bet that he gives you the hard truth, doesn't he?
He does, and I will tell you, in all the times that I paid him, um, not the last time I seen him, the time before that, the paid. Let me say the paid. The time before that I paid him. In that reading, he told me, if there's ever a time that you need me and you can't afford, don't hesitate. Um,
I'm being shamed.
oh, um,
Remind.
let me go back to that reading. He said, if there ever comes a time and you can't afford, you think you can't afford, call me. And I thought that was a really weird thing for him to say. And I'll be damned, and I won't get into all that because that would be like a whole nother show. And but there's something did traumatic happen in my life, and the only thing I could do to think, I either needed to see a damn psychiatrist to prevent me from committing murder of someone, or I needed to see Ron to, work this out to answer, some questions. Why, how, does this happen? And I sent him an email. I'm like, I hate to even ask, but I really do need to see you, and I really don't have $85 right now. And his response was, "Can you be here at 3 o'clock?"
Yeah, there you
And
go.
so I mean, yes, and all the times that I paid him, and like I said, he had never, said that, but obviously he knew what was about to come, but he knew that it was not his place to tell me at that time what was coming.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how it is, especially when you get someone who truly does have a gift. I mean, Cade, who's been in the chat, is my best friend. And if you ask them, you don't ask me for a tarot reading unless you really want to hear the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to pull anything out of thin air. I'm going to read with the cards and what my deities guide me to. And usually it's very blunt. So,
Right. And that's, I've done some tarot readings myself, and I struggle with that because, I'm a Cancer, I'm sensitive, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And, there had been a few readings that I had done on a couple different women, and I knew that there was relationship trouble, and, didn't say it. And lo and behold, both of them within 6 months ended up divorced. I didn't say. I just, you know,
it's
how
hard.
do
It
you
is
tell
hard
some?
to tell them bad news. It really is. And I did try to sugarcoat the first couple of times that I read for Cade specifically. And I just finally realized that my cards did not like it when I did that. And they just got more and more blunt. So I say it with love, but I just say it.
Right. I mean, and yeah, Ron's that way too. I mean, yeah, there have been probably a lot of times he may have said some stuff I didn't want to hear. Um,
I
but
don't I
and
don't read my own
I
tarot though.
understand. See, now that's the tarot that I do. I pull a
I
card
can't
from
read
my
for
pretty
myself.
regular.
I can't read for myself, not from my decks at all.
And what
So
about you, Aubrey? Do you read for yourself?
Yes, I do. I read for friends and stuff like that. I don't do it professionally. I don't do it for money or anything like that. But I don't read for myself as much as I should probably. But I also use the Ouija board for answers that we talked about before. So she laughs. What was that laugh?
No, we were laughing at Jesse's comment that she's
Oh,
about to divorce her man child for buying spicy toothpaste.
did you buy the cinnamon toothpaste, Jesse?
let's just say spicy. What is spicy toothpaste?
I'm guessing it's the
Spicy.
cinnamon toothpaste.
I agree, Kate.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, where we will go on unlocked and uncensored,
You just never
nobody
know.
knows.
We start with Jesus is a witch and
And
then
now we're gonna end with the
spicy
spicy.
toothpaste,
So
Arctic.
I
Oh,
do want to. I do want to go back and say, we we're not trying to offend anybody. We just, these were just facts and questions
And
from
our
our own
experiences.
and our experiences from our own personal life. I mean, and if that offends you, I'm not going to apologize because my life offends you.
But we will say
I'm
that maybe this is not the show for you.
right
You don't have to watch
for
us. We completely understand. You can scroll.
yeah, because if you're on your show trying to cram religion down my throat, I'm not watching you. I'm just gonna be
Especially
honest
not
with
on
you.
Unlocked and Uncensored because
I'm. I don't
no.
watch Joel Olstein, or if my TV gets accidentally left on Saturday night on one of these local channels, and I woke up to some church shit on the Sunday morning, that sets me out of bed quickly, and I will turn the channel.
Yep,
Or
no.
Jesse
This is why I
Wilson.
canceled cable and I just have Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and all of that.
It's usually the local channels, and there's that one guy. I mean, he's almost comical. I can't remember his name. The next time I see the commercial, I'll have to um, send it to you. Because I'm
Well,
not paying attention to your crap over here.
look, we told you we want you. You can come join us one night, even privately. My friend Cade,
Hey,
they said that we needed to get Jessie on the show because
well,
she
I
was
mean,
hilarious.
you can come on like Aubrey does, and just your voice and not your face, Jesse.
Yeah,
I mean, you look like your mother. You might as well come on. I mean, what are you hiding from?
y'all are both smicks.
Just, just do it.
Kate is a smart person. They really are.
Well, see, you already have fans, Jesse, that want you to join the show.
Cade, you're a fan, right?
Mm.
So we should probably go ahead and give a little segue into what is our possible topic next week.
I think we're gonna go with ghost jizz,
Yeah, ghost sex.
ghost sex. So if anyone out there is listening, and we're not mocking it, we're not making fun of it. Again, we are Southern Paranormal Inspection Research Investigation Team. We have heard, when um we
We've heard
decided we would start doing this
specific.
podcast,
Oh
we
yeah.
started listening. We started listening, to other podcasts. What's out there? What are people talking about? And I did just say ghost jizz.
It's a long
Just so
story to
you,
get to that inside joke.
yes, it's a long story to get to the ghost jizz.
You know, you know. Oh god. But yeah, we started listening to other podcasts because we wanted to research and we wanted to come on here, and even though we don't have the fanciest of setup, we wanted to at least, try to give y'all the best show that we could and give our all. And in doing so, we came across some people who had had experiences of some of their first paranormal experiences were sexual in nature, and one even went so far as to call it, say that he was attacked sexually. So we wanted, I mean, is this something that happens?
Well, I mean, and he's just running along in his podcast, and then he just goes, and then I was sexually attacked.
No,
And
no,
you're
no.
like, what the fuck did he just say?
You got it back. You got it backwards. He said, and then I was attacked sexually.
Sexually, yes, that was it. That was it. And we were all like, wait, what the fuck?
That would be ectoplasm.
Oh my god, she did not. So, in all seriousness, I mean, I know, um, there have been, stories from the Warren Files and stuff, of people who have been molested, sexually attacked, whatever you want to call it. But of course, my husband, when he heard that, he's like, "Why haven't I ever been sexually attacked by a ghost?"
No, we'll
Um,
we'll send you the info on a couple of the podcasts that we listened to that mentioned this, Jesse.
yeah, yeah, we won't put it out here
No, publicly, not
publicly,
at
but
all. But that's our
no,
daughter.
we won't. Yeah, we won't bash anyone like that or humiliate anyone like that. Or, but Aubrey, I think you were part of that tag when we were tagging that podcast to everybody. Well, what is your questions about ghost jizz? You've got 5 minutes, Jesse, before we wrap it up. So,
As she time checks us.
right. Well, y'all, I
Kay's got
guess
several questions too.
y'all send us your questions over the weekend, so we'll research. We
Now,
have
y'all
no
of course can send it to us privately, but for anybody else that might watch this at a later time, down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the banner that's scrolling past that has our email address that you can drop stories, questions, any of that to, and we will keep you anonymous if that is what you prefer. Oh no. No.
So I would say, remember, Jesse, Jesus is always with you.
But hey, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. That opens up a whole new can of worms.
That's, I mean, I gotta stop.
Oh no, I sleep on half on my stomach. Oh no, the bottom half of me is butt up.
Jesus a ghost, apparently. Yes, you never know what you're gonna get on Alabama Skeleton Key, Unlocked and Uncensored. We can just go all over the place here. So, thank everyone for joining the conversation tonight. Aubrey, we appreciate you being here, and Tom, we lost you somewhere along the way. I really do think you fell asleep. I think he might have a couple of drinks before he got on the show. So, I think, and it was, it is like an hour later for him. So, yes, back to what I was trying to say before we just went raw here. Yes, if anyone knows anyone who was sexually attacked by a ghost, or thinks they were sexually attacked by a ghost, or knows someone, we'd love to hear about it. We're going to do
And
some
you know what?
research this week.
We can expand that even further. And we can just say, not even just sexually attacked by a ghost. Were you sexually attacked by any sort of paranormal entity? We'll open it up
Right.
further.
Right. I mean, yeah, were you abducted by aliens? Of course, Lenny and I got on that conversation today about, what if I posed the question to him, what if we're all some alien experiment? And he's like, I think if that was the case, we'd all be perfect. I said, well, how do you know an alien's perfect? Of course, he's like, I met one. So we'll have to get Lenny on the show to talk about that.
Maybe we're like an ant farm.
That's kind of what I was saying too.
I definitely don't think we're alone.
Or are we someone's pet?
Yeah.
Are we someone's pet?
Are the stars in the sky holes poked in the top of the container?
Right.
Oh. Anyway,
Okay, yes, this is 129. And join us again Thursday night for Alabama Skeleton Key. Locked and censored.
Locked and censored
What
on
are we
Thursday.
what are we talking about Thursday? Oh, haunted items still. We're kind of continuing. We're digging into some more mirrors. Mirrors is what we're doing.
Yes, we're looking at haunted mirrors. So, and we may branch out further from there into other objects. So,
And
yeah,
then
so that should be
here
fun.
on
Unlocked and
Unlocked and Uncensored, we'll be talking about ghost jizz and ectoplasma and
So the question
spicy
to sign off
toothpaste and
with, the question to sign off with then, as it's 1:30, is, have you had sex with a ghost?